everyone, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about something very important, and that is hitting spots. Now, if you follow us on Instagram, I put out a little question box on our stories the other day asking how you were taught to hit spots. So when you first learned how to hit spots with your pitching coach or whoever it was, what changes did you make? What differences did you make between just a fastball down the middle? What adjustments did you make to then try and throw your fastball inside or outside? Now, we personally don't love to spot other pitches, so change-ups and movement pitches, that's just our opinion. We feel it takes away from the effectiveness of the pitch, but there are, the majority of coaches, I would say, do like to spot those other pitches. So everything we talk about in today's video can apply not only to fastballs, but to the other pitches as well. But speaking specifically for right now, I'm going to talk about fastballs. So I asked, what adjustments do you need to make to go from throwing a fastball down the middle to, let's say, an inside fastball? And this has never happened before. I got the same exact answer from every person. And so that's kind of why I wanted to make this video today to talk about that. And that answer that I got from everybody was, I was taught to take a step in the direction of that new spot. So their stride foot essentially would go towards the inside spot or towards the outside spot. And that was how they adjusted to hit that new spot. Is that really correct? The answer is no, or at least it's not fully correct. But I would say that this is the most common things that girls are taught when it comes to hitting spots. It's certainly what I was initially taught before Coach Phil just started teaching me when I was younger. You just go ahead and step in that direction and that's how you hit your spot. But is that really correct? And the answer is no, not entirely. So when we talk about hitting spots, I want you guys, instead of just thinking about stepping with your stride foot, I want you guys to start thinking more about the reach part of the pitch, the reach stage. So after we come out of the load, that reach stage, and your glove hand, okay? Because those two things, that reach stage of the pitch and glove work, have everything to do with a pitcher's ability to hit a spot. And again, that applies not just to fastballs, but to your changeup and movement pitches as well. So let's quickly remind ourselves why the reach part of the pitch is important. So as we come out of the load position, we're going to have hip extension. This is talking for a fastball down the middle at this point. We're going to have hip extension towards our target. Our stride leg is going to go straight out towards our target, and our hands are going to reach straight out towards our target, body square to the target. We get nice and tall and stacked. Remember that the reach part of the pitch is what sets our body up to our target, or sets up our throw zone, as we like to call it, okay? So when we talk about hitting, let's say, an inside spot, we're going to just reach to that new spot. So instead of having everything extend straight down the middle, if I were going to throw a fastball down the middle, I'm now going to have everything extend towards that inside spot, okay? So now you'll see when I do that, yes, my stride leg does naturally go in the direction of that new spot, which is why when people say, oh, that I was just taught to step in that direction, it's partially true. But if I'm solely focusing on stepping towards the spot with my stride leg and not paying any attention to my hips or my glove work or how my arms are working in the reach, we can run into some real problems. So I can easily step towards that inside spot, but still have my hands reaching in another direction, okay? So now what's happening is my lower half is trying to go towards that spot, but my upper half is going towards an outside spot, for example, and that's really, really gonna affect my arm path. Okay, so I'm going to end up coming around my body, and I'm going to have to do something mechanically incorrect to try and get my ball back on that new power line to my inside spot. Because that's what hitting spots really is. It's a new power line. So when we talk about hitting spots down the middle of the plate, you can see how my power line is pointing straight down the middle of the plate. So I want to set my body up to that power line and fire my hand down that new power line. when we talk about hitting, let's say, an inside spot, we're just going to go ahead and imagine that this power line, instead of pointing straight down the middle of the plate, is now pointing slightly to that inside spot. So it's kind of going a little bit diagonally that way. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to just set my body up to that new power line. But that doesn't just mean your stride foot. It means your hips need to extend in that direction. It means both hands need to be working together and going towards that spot on that new power line. And it means our body needs to be square to that new target. Again, if we're just focusing on that stride leg, but the rest of our body is doing something else, we're going to have a really, really hard time commanding that spot. And then let's talk more about power K position and glove work now, and not just the reach. So even if we get to that good reach position, okay, our stride leg is going there, our hips going there, our hands are reaching there. But then as I get into power K, my glove starts to swim out. Okay, again, that's going to contribute to premature shoulder rotation. It's going to be really hard for me to keep my body lined up to that spot as I deliver. So again, there's going to be mechanical breakdown. My arm's going to come kind of sideways out and around my body. We're going to see either further inside misses, or if the arm speed is a little bit faster, we're going to see outside misses. So you're going to miss more over the plate or even more outside. So you see how when it comes to hitting a spot, it's not really just about stepping in that direction. It's more about your reach and your glove work. Everything extending towards that spot, glove hand staying towards that spot as you get ready to deliver so that the hips and shoulders stay in a good position, and then firing that hand to that spot really quickly. Again, very important that when we hit a spot, we never want to slow down or try and aim, because that really does take away from your command and your speed. So I just thought it was really interesting that I got literally the same response for every single person that wrote in, and it was that everyone was taught to just focus on taking a step in the direction of that spot. It's going to be the same thing for an outside spot. We don't want to just focus on the stride leg going there, but we're still reaching down the middle of the plate with our throwing hand and our glove hand. We want to make sure that our reach is extending towards that spot, and our glove hand is covering our catcher's target on that inside location as we go to deliver, and then firing our hand to that spot with good upper and lower body separation, which again is now pointed towards that target, and our hand firing down that new power line that is pointing to that new outside spot. And again, if you're someone who likes to spot the changeup or spot your movement pitches, it's going to be the same thing. So if I'm want to throw a changeup on that inside corner, I'm still going to reach there. I'm going to track there with my glove in that spot, and then I'm going to extend my hand the same way I would if I were throwing a changeup down the middle of the plate. I'm just setting up on that new power line to that new inside spot. If you're throwing a drop on the outside corner of the plate, we're still going to reach there. Okay, glove hand's going to be slightly lower than it would be for a fastball, still covering that target on that power line, and then turning over again, everything set up to that new outside power line. So when you guys start thinking about hitting spots, especially if you have a pitcher who is struggling to hit spots, if you've been taught to basically just focus on taking a step in that direction with your stride leg, I want you to start trying to think more about the reach and the glove hand, and I bet you guys will start seeing pretty dramatic results and improvements when it comes to your pitcher hitting those spots, regardless of what kind of pitch she's throwing. Okay, I hope you guys have found this helpful. I would love to hear your comments on what you were taught to do to hit spots, and if you found, more success focusing on the stride leg or focusing on glove work. I've got a lot more videos coming your way, and I'll talk to you soon.